Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. I'm just doing that because Alan made fun of my intro the other week, the other day, so I'm doing the same back. Not fun in a good way, of course. Welcome everybody to making the show tonight. I hope everybody's ready for a good time because tonight I've got one of the best, nicest men you'll ever meet on YouTube. Army veteran, Army, right?
Right.
Yeah, Army veteran, good guy all around, Mr. Bjorn, the Son of Crom. How are you doing tonight, Bjorn?
Good, Matt. Thanks so much for inviting me on. I sure appreciate it.
Well, you are one of my favorite people on YouTube. It's that simple. So when I was going over my list to fill this month, I was like, oh my God, I haven't had Bjorn on here yet. So that's why I was like, I've got to get you on here because you are not just one of my favorites. You are a favorite for a lot of the comic creators, us comic book YouTube creators out there, especially because of your competitions, your friendly things, your giveaways. I'm actually really surprised more people aren't at your giveaways. I had to miss the last one because I was out of my house, but that night, but I know that a lot of other people were very happy. Stevie D in particular is very happy when you have the giveaways. He seems like, I get these great books. I love to see the look on his face when they arrive.
Yeah, that's I try to do a monthly free claim sale, just because I enjoy watching claim sales, and
Mm-hmm.
the idea just popped in my head. Why don't I just buy some books? Not $1 million books, of course, but just buy some books and give them away for free. So I do ask for a donation for shipping, but all the books are free, and I got some really good ones. The last one that you missed from Alex the Comic Hoarder, I spent like $300, and he
Mm-hmm.
gave me some really good like Power Girl, those ones that people are always looking for, and some
Yes.
other kind of sexy covers, I guess you'd call them. And I was
Mm-hmm.
able to give those away for free pretty easily.
Very nice. So before we get too much further onto it, let's say hi to everybody that's on the that's here tonight so far. Okay, let's see here. We've got Kay Munin. Welcome to the show, Andreas. We have Robbie Josephs, who's always in one of the top two that make it. I'm good to see you, Robbie. And then there's Robbie and Jay and Kay Munin having a nice long conversation. And John Harrison's here tonight. Hi, John.
Howdy.
We've got Knives. Speaking of someone we were talking about before the show, hi, Stephen. Collecto 6. Only good things. Only good things. And my latest member, Mike Dennis. Welcome to who's come to my first, his first full broadcast as a channel member. Welcome tonight. So Bjorn, I'm going to ask you the same question I ask everybody the first time they're on here. What was it? What made you get into comics?
Well, the first time I got into comics, and I wish I had some. I usually display comics on my wall here. I just want to explain to people I don't normally have these, but I just got done with a live stream. I do have other YouTube channels, and I did a live stream where we meet with veterans that are struggling. Most of them, it started out as a private stream, but it's just for people from my unit. But we've allowed other people to join that have PTSD or different things from all the way back from the Grenada conflict in 1983, which was Operation Urgent Fury. We don't have any Vietnam veterans, but from 1983 to present, all conflicts, we had people on there, and I appreciate doing that. So whenever I do it, I pull out my Army stuff, people that passed away that I knew personally, my old Army of One license plate, so kind of explain my backdrop. But for comic books, my mom loved to go thrift shopping or yard sales or flea markets. We didn't make a lot of money back when I was growing up. We were fortunate enough to have a house that my grandfather gave my mother just so she wouldn't leave the state with that hippie biker she married, which was my dad. And he was definitely a hippie biker that took us to Hollywood, and we lived in a laundromat above Hollywood and Vine, a laundromat there where the Hollywood stars are at. And I guess supposedly I was held by Sonny Barger, who was the leader of the Hells Angels at the time, and I cried. And he called me a little beetle because I used to have really black hair, and my mom would cut bangs straight across. So that's that story. So they brought him back to Michigan, and my dad never made a lot of money because he loved just doing motorcycle stuff. He never had that mindset to like, I'm gonna make it big, right? He was happy just doing stuff, low level mechanic and fixing people's bike for free sometimes. So I never saw a comic book when I was really little, and this is early '60s I'm talking about. The first comic book I saw was at a flea market. I just remember there was packed dirt, and it was outside, and my mom said, "Hold my dress." So I'm walking around holding the dress, and then my mom looked at the stuff, and I kept tugging. Are we going to go yet? Are we going to go yet? And my mom didn't tolerate that very well. And to keep her from spanking me in public, she told me to sit down and shut up. And she kind of set me down hard on like a stump that was made into a bench. So I sat there. So I started picking up pebbles and throwing it. And she kept yelling over from wherever clothes she was rummaging through, saying, "Stop it!" And so eventually, though, she came up with this rolled up piece of paper. And she goes, "Here." And she slams it in my hand. She goes, "Read this as much as you can." I said, "I can't read that good. I could read like The Boy Run, see Jack Run maybe." Because I was pre-kindergarten. I was right at kindergarten age, and she was teaching me those preschool type books.
Right.
And I looked at the cover, and I saw these 4 characters. I saw this guy with a red, white, and blue American flag on his chest, and he's diving through the air with a shield. You know who that is? Nice. I saw this guy running really fast, and I saw a guy with an arrow, and I saw a female with a red outfit on, peering in at like a tube with this big fat sumo guy attacking them, and that was Avengers number 18.
Wow, good book
that she handed me. Now it wasn't in very good shape, obviously, after the way my mom handled it, but it was still. This was probably 1960. I would say 68, 69 when she gave it to me. So I did not, and you're frozen, Matt. I don't know. Can everyone still hear me? Maybe in the comments say yes or no.
How am I frozen? I don't see me being frozen. Am I frozen out there?
You're not now. For me, you were frozen. Sorry, that. So it said, "Lose the comments. I can't see Bjorn." Weird.
It's just my little banner that I have, but
yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so it was Avengers 18. I asked my mom as soon as she came out. I said, "What's this name here?" She goes, "That's Captain America." And then she read the little box said Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Hawkeye. And I deduced just from my 5-year-old brain or however old I was, who was what. Captain America was obvious, and that was my first comic book. I actually didn't get another comic book for quite a while, so I read that over and over again. And my mom took me to a garage sale once, and there was this shoebox full of comic books, and most of them were like Archie, Jughead, and I said, "Oh, okay, that looks silly, that looks whatever." And I wanted to find this superhero thing. And my second comic book I found of all comics was Captain America number 111, which is a pretty famous Jim Steranko cover. And so that was my initiation to that. Later on, I think my mom, I don't know what I did to get it, but I asked her, please, take me somewhere where I can look at comic books. And we would go to a drugstore like once a week, and I'd sit there and read them, but I couldn't buy them. And then eventually my dad must have got a raise to like $125 a week or something from $100 a week, I think he made back then. And I got $1. So with that $1, oh my gosh, I could buy 5, 6 comic books, when they were 15 cents. I think it's the first time I bought one myself. And I started basically buying Marvel at the time. It seemed like that was what was mostly on my rack, or maybe that's what caught my eye, the colors. I think Spider-Man was an early one that attracted me to the colors. The Avengers, seeing the Fantastic Four, seeing more than one character together. And the Justice League, oh my gosh, the 100-page giants, things like that. When I saw them, I'm like, who are these people? And what's going on? And all of them had Golden Age stories in it. I didn't really realize how far back that was back then. It would just say from Flash Comics 14 or whatever. I didn't know if that was 5 years ago at that time.
No, it's
And
true.
so, go ahead.
I can relate to that. I love groups of superheroes. The Legion is one of the
Yeah.
reasons why.
Yeah, and the Legion was a big thing too. And then later on, as I got a little older, I got a job when I was 11 as a caddy at a
Mhm.
golf course. I had my own money, and literally, I bought out the comic rack every week. I'd go in on a Friday when I got paid from the golf course with my $9 that I earned for the week, and just
Mhm.
buy every comic book on the rack, except I wouldn't buy like Little Dot, Little
Right.
Lulu. Those just weren't for me. And I know some people will kick me in the head, but I never bought like Wonder Woman or anything like that or Supergirl because I thought to myself as a little boy, I said, I want to grow up to be one of these guys someday. I want to be
Mhm.
Batman. I want to be Spider-Man. I didn't have the dream inside me at that time, and probably still not today, that I wanted to be Wonder Woman. Sorry,
No,
guys.
but that honestly, that is a big factor for comic books and why comic books were
Yeah,
always so popular over the years. Kids wanted to be them. Actually, there's a story
right,
about how Robin almost didn't work at first because kids wanted to be Batman. They didn't want to be Robin
right.
because Robin was it was too quick, it was too whatever. But any kid with enough time could grow up to be Batman was the comment, and it's actually quite accurate when you think about that. But
Yeah,
and
that
Wonder
reminds
Woman
me
was
of playing on the yeah on the playground. I can remember like in kindergarten, first grade, every lunchtime you'd have play recess time, and I'd say, "Do you want to play on the two things that we or three different characters we'd play with me and my friend? His name was Brent Bird. I don't know what happened to the guy. I just remember that name, Brent Bird. And I'd say, "Do you want to play Batman and Robin?" He'd say, "Yeah." He goes, "Can I be Batman?" I'm like, "No, I'm Batman. You're Robin." Because it's my idea. I don't know what I'd say, but I try to convince him like Robin's really cool because he gets to do this, and I convince him that it's okay to be Robin wearing the little green panties around, because we're thinking of the TV show, and or we play the other two where we play Captain Kirk or Mr. Spock because Star Trek in the '60s was really big, and then right after it got canceled, they started showing reruns of it right away, so we always got to see Star Trek. And then another favorite of mine, I liked it when it was black and white, and even more so when it started in color, was Wild Wild West with
right.
James West and Artemis Gordon. So, of course, I'd always convince him how cool Artemis Gordon is with all his disguises because I really wanted to be Jim West. So, and that's what we played
That's
growing
pretty
up.
cool. So, having got this foundation in comic
Yeah.
books. Oh, by the way, hi Adam. Good. Good. Why don't you show us Adam's picture?
I will. Are you ready for that now?
Well, Adam's here right now. Let's give it up. I'll make you
Okay,
big
so
real quick.
to preface it, one of my favorite things is one of my favorite movies to watch, and I watched it probably more than any other movie. And originally, that would have been It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite movie, but I don't watch that more than once a year. This movie I watch sometimes up to 3 times a year, and that's the original Alien movie. I love Aliens, I love Predators, but Aliens especially is the first show when I saw it as pretty young, teenager or young boy. That was the first one. Actually, I said, "Holy smokes, that's actually scary. They're actually scary." So I asked him to do. He said he was next on my list, and I said, "Well, I would really like one that's done like a Frazetta painting, like a Conan one, but not Conan." I said, "I'd like something to do, and maybe with something in me in the military." I was a platoon sergeant for a long time. I said, "So make me a platoon sergeant and do one." And then this is kind of the joke that he's told other people. And this is a true story, but he said, I said, "Now there's a naked lady holding on to Conan's leg in the Barbarian where he's standing on skulls.
Yeah, I remember
And
that. That's a great
she's
cover.
topless." And so I took a picture. There's a painting in our room, a painting done of me and my wife that we had done. It's headshots from a ball we were at, a military ball. And I sent him that picture of me and my wife so he knew what she looked like, sort of, and what I look like, not when I'm so old like this. Because who wants a painting with gray hair? I don't. so, so basically, I said maybe do something like that. And I said, if you are gonna make my wife naked, she probably wouldn't like being naked on the bottom because even though the girls wear grass skirts that are from Polynesia, they're kind of shy about that kind of area. I said, but on the top, you wouldn't want to give her pink nipples like the one in the Conan thing because she's Polynesian and Polynesians don't have pink nipples. So having said that, this is what Adam said. Kids, hide your eyes. No, I'm kidding. I've already framed it. I just haven't hung it yet.
Nice.
So this is the painting. So the Nostromo is right there. That's the original ship from Aliens.
Very nice.
And I'm standing there in military uniform with a boonie hat, cut up. And he used like 7 different types of paints, pencils, inks, metallics on the teeth, and on the machine gun, the AR-15 or M16 there. I have the alien tongue. My wife has like a sarong on, which is a Polynesian thing. And as you can see, the nipple's a little brown right there. So what was funny is the night I opened this, I told my wife to come in the room. And me and her agreed that the only part she don't agree on with this is that her boobs are much bigger than that.
That's funny. So going from how you got into comic books.
Go ahead.
You obviously
for some reason you're freezing on my end. Maybe it's my computer, so you're refreshing now. It might be your
computer because everyone's telling me that I'm doing fine.
Yeah, it must be my end. So you're fine now. I can hear you. So going from that, where did I go?
Okay. You joined the Army. Did you get rid of your collection or did you keep it at your parents' house?
No, all the books that I had as a kid, they were at my house when I went off to basic training at 17. But I had stacks of books. I had started around 80, around 79. I started finding out that there were bags and boards. At first, there were just bags without boards. And, I had a couple of things in Mylar. I had a giant size X-Men #1 in my Mylar. And the reason why, it wasn't worth anything except 50 cents. But to me, I loved that new team. I loved Nightcrawler and Colossus and all these new characters. I thought that was awesome. I had my first Batman I ever bought, which is another weird coincidence. It was $251, which now can go in the worst condition. It can go for hundreds of dollars. I wish I had it, the original one. But I left all those at my parents' house, and then when I finally got my own barracks room after training, I brought them all with me. I had them with me, and I collected from 82 up till 92. And then I was married. I got married at 18 to an older woman. She was much older than me. I mean, way older than me. And but she convinced me to marry her. And at 18, if I can have a woman that's willing to have fun every night, I'm all for it. And I didn't know nothing. I came from a small town, with a few friends, but I didn't know anything about men and women stuff really, except what I thought, because no one really sat down and told me anything. So just to have that, every night, I was very happy. And sure, if she said we should get married, I'm like, okay, but it turned out to be a bad marriage. So we were stationed in Hawaii. Then I just got back from a deployment. It was after Desert Storm, I think. Yeah, the Desert Storm was 90-91. So when I got back from that deployment and that war was over, we got stationed in Hawaii, and I just got to the point where I couldn't put up with it anymore. And I always was hoping she would divorce me, and she never would. She threatened, anytime we'd argue, I'm going to divorce you. I'm like, okay. So I just divorced her. And it was so expensive, getting divorced in Hawaii, and I wanted to get the fastest one I could get. And so I had to sell my entire collection, which consisted, the ones that I can remember besides my giant size X-Men #1, which I don't know how great a shape it was then, but I did have probably about a 4.0 Spider-Man #1 that I had bought at a convention for about $400 back in 1981 or 82. And then I had all 4 of the original Ninja Turtle books that I bought as a set a year after it came out, because they were only on issue 8, when I bought 1 through 4. And Eastman and Laird, however you pronounce the name, were there at the table. And they said, hey, young man, he said, this guy, Jonah or whatever his name was, is going to help you. Because people were over there wanting them to sign books, right? I didn't know them from peanuts. All I knew is that I read issue 8 that I got at a Stars and Stripes stores, which was like a mini bookstore for military bases, and I loved it. I'm like, wow, this is black and white. These turtles are like killing people. I'm like, this is cool. So when I went to my first convention in Maryland, which is where it was, like Gaithersburg, Maryland, somewhere, they were there. I didn't know anything about that and like artists or signing or nothing like that. But the guy wanted $400 or something for all four. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
I'm like, yeah. I said, I don't have that much. I'm going to look around. And I was looking for a Spider-Man #1 at that time. Because I had only had, I think I might have had one when I was a kid, but it was coverless. I had a lot of coverless comics that was given to me from some of my friends and their older brothers, and these guys that maybe went off to Vietnam. So I read the books, but I never owned them myself. So they didn't have any there at that small convention. So I came back. The guy said, "Oh, did you change your mind?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you have any money left?" I said, "Well, I still have my $350. He goes, hold on a second. And he went and talked to some other guy that wasn't the creator. There's some other older guy there. And the guy looked at his watch, like what time it is. And he looked up on the clock in like the gymnasium where they were at, or the auditorium or whatever place. And he goes, and he talked to the kid. And he came back and goes, "We'll sell you all for $350. He goes, "They're worth like $400 to $500. I'm like, okay. So of course I had to sell those two as well to pay for a divorce. So I didn't start collecting again until probably around 2012. And I just started building up again. And now my situation is now, I was a financial advisor for a while. And so I decided to do my own financials and what I'm spending, because I don't have a lot of space to keep stuff, to collect it.
Correct.
I'm addicted to buying stuff though. So this is an embarrassing figure, but I'm about it. I haven't even been on YouTube comic book channel, that is, for a year yet. I'm 3 weeks away from my 1 year anniversary, so I'm still a new person or whatever. But
congratulations.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, almost 1 year. So at this point, I just updated it on Saturday, and I'm at 279. And when I mean 279, there's a K after that. That's how much I've spent, which is crazy, because I have nothing. I only have 2 slabs in my house now.
Wow.
So what I do is I buy them. I love them. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like, now I want something different. And so I use those to sell them and then get more books. And I love those books, and I show them and I have them. And then like a month later, I get rid of them and get different books. So
you got rid of the Spider-Man ones you were building then?
All my Spider-Man ones are gone. Yeah, I sold those. Those are the ones as an investment option for people. Every single Spider-Man that I put up for auction made me money. I made money on every ASM from the original run. Other ones I did not. But the Spider-Mans helped me break even a lot of times in auctions. But 9.8 white pages is a stone cold killer every time. You're going to make your money back normally, unless you overpaid. Or it has to be a key book. You can't say, here's the 3rd appearance of Sinestro and hope to make back your $50. You're going to get like $22. Yes. But I do have a couple books that I won. One thing I have, if we get to a point where you want to show things, I actually bought it for another person that's a new YouTuber that I'm going to give to them. But I could show you. They're not on the chat, and they don't even know I'm going to send them anything. So.
Well, in that case, we're at that point now where I think I can make you big for a little bit. So
okay, I don't have that much to show. I have 2 things.
That's fine. We can keep talking after.
Go ahead. Okay, let me reach over here.
When I bring people on, it's you. People don't want to see me. They want to see who I bring. So.
I came here just for you. Yeah, you're right. It's no surprise. The older books sell for a premium, because I literally held those Spider-Man books, and the earliest one I had was 4. And then I had about 10 of them between 4 and 20. But those and all the 12 cent, 15 cent, and even the 20 cent and the 9.8s of the newer ones, like 400 and up, 350 and up, all those made me money. Even if it's only $5, it sold for more than I paid for it. So the 2 books I have today, and I brought these basically because I was on Matt's show, and I know Matt loves Superman and Supergirl and stuff like that. But I also did my military show. We discussed Robin Cook's Green Berets today. So if you like military history books, I'm sure probably Steppo, if he's watching still, has read this. Robin Cook's Green Beret from 1965. That's an original copy there. And then we also discussed the movie Platoon. So I give them assignments. I'm kind of like the leader of the support group, sort of, I guess you could call it. And so we watch military history stuff. But anyways.
How realistic is Platoon?
Well, I wasn't in Vietnam. So, but people that were in Platoon, the actual book that was written, the reviews that came out, some of them said it was pretty spot on. There's another book that's similar called Bloods. And Bloods is about African Americans that were in Vietnam, and that's also a must read. It's very good. So Platoon and Bloods are very accurate from what the Vietnam veterans I've spoke to said. So I wanted to get something military to show off. I was going to give this away to someone in my group earlier, but nobody collects comics in the whole group. There was 44 guys on the live stream, and not one of them collected comic books, but they liked seeing it. So it's an Action Comics. There you go. Action Comics 1000. It's the military buy war bonds variant. It wasn't very expensive, but I really liked the cover, and I actually got it just for the show because we only do that show once a month on another channel. So I was a little disheartened that nobody wanted it. I'm like, well, gosh, maybe I'll use this for one of my contests to give away or something like that. Because literally, this slab and one more slab I have is the only slab I have in the house. Now, hopefully, you're asking me what I have planned in the future, because I do want to tell you.
I do plan on asking you that after we do this section.
So this one's also a Superman one. This is from 1940. It is a Superman comic book, sort of. I paid less than $100 for it, though, and it's slabbed. So the reason why I bought it and I bid on it in an auction is because I thought it was a pretty neat piece of history, even though normally I wouldn't buy things like this. And I love the way Lois Lane looks on it in the cover, and I love the way Superman looks. And I bought one page of a Superman comic, which I normally wouldn't do. Right. But this is the first ever full splash page in a Superman comic book.
Oh, very nice.
This was like $81. And look at Lois, just looks gorgeous here. I love the way she looks. And I love Superman coming in. You know, before that, they would have half the page and it'd say, Superman, you know, with all the powers. He protects the innocent and the weak. But from Superman number 6 in 1940, this was the first splash page in a Superman title. There might have been one in an Action Comics title. I don't know.
Not really until the 20s, so it would probably be around the same time.
Okay. So I love this. Yeah, sorry, K-Mutant, but I love these old-fashioned Lois Lane. I just like the way she looked, actually. And then on the back, you got Driftin' Dave, which Drifters, of course, is a similar name, what people used to call hobos, or people that were always begging for money. But then it's cute little cartoon right there. But that's it. That's the only two slabs. I went from, I think the most I've had in my house was about 180 slabs, and it drove me nuts. I had boxes above my head in my little room that I used that I had to take down, and it hurt my back. So I'm like, I can't. I need to limit it. No matter what I have.
Quick question with regards to the Man-Thing poster. I've seen 3 or 4 comments now that people will like that poster. What can you tell us about it really quickly?
Yeah, so the poster is you want to make me big again for a second so they can see everything? I'll show them. So this is actually a framed print. So this is canvas, and it's about 3/4 inch thick. So it's on there, has a wood frame on it. So that's just from Man-Thing number 1. This actually was pretty cheap. This is original art right here from an artist. I can't think of his name. This one, though, is from Val Mayrick. He was an artist on the original Man-Thing, and that is a watercolor signed by Val that he did, and I bought it from his collection. So it's kind of tilted, but that's my favorite one. And I took down my Man-Thing statue, and I have other Man-Thing stuff because that's my favorite, monster-sized monster, I guess you'd say. But I love Ghost Rider, Wolverine by Night, Swamp Thing. I love Werewolf. I love all those characters. But that was kind of what Monsters with Midnight,
Mhm.
my Friday show is all about, just to talk about any kind of monster stuff. It could be even legends. Did you see Bigfoot in Ontario? If you did, tell us about it. It's about anything monster related. That's pretty much
Very
what the show
cool.
is.
When it comes to Marvel, I prefer the supernatural stuff. That's my favorite stuff on
Yep.
the
Son
Marvel
of
side.
Satan, right?
Son of Satan. That is right. But also Ghost Rider, Doctor Strange, the Defenders,
Yeah.
because Ghost. Actually, I fell in love with Son of Satan because he was a member of the Defenders for so long, and I read a
Right.
lot of the Defenders. Again, I do like my super groups. So I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't get into Marvel though until probably 9 or 10 years after I started reading comics. So I remember being in comic chats with friends, and then all of a sudden they flipped to Marvel, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know anything."
Right.
And it was
Because we
kind
do
of
get pigeonholed when we
yeah,
start collecting, we do pigeonhole into one group we kind of fall in like with, I guess you'd say.
yeah.
And we kind of follow that characters or whatever. So, and then slowly we branch out, and sometimes you're not aware of a character. Like Green Lantern, I didn't know about Green Lantern until I bought a Flash comic.
Makes
I
sense.
think I bought like a Flash 221, and that's during the time frame when Green Lantern didn't have his book any longer. It's after it got canceled with his Neil Adams run, then it got canceled, and he was a backup in Flash. And I'm like, who is this guy? And I read that in
Yes.
Brightest Day and Blackest Night like 20 times over and over to myself till I memorized it.
I have a couple of the Flash issues with Green Lantern as the second
Yeah.
feature. That was really surprising. When I was a kid and I started getting into Flash, the backup feature at the time was Dr. Fate, so it was pretty cool. Like, and I've always again liked those older heroes as well, so it was kind of cool to see those. So basically, here you have been doing some contests where that I guess you could say face-offs, so to speak, to use a hockey term.
Right.
What's going on with those, and where are we at? How many spots left do you have?
Okay. So basically, I love the college basketball tournament every year. And on some other channels that I ran in the past, because if people don't know, I've had YouTube channels since 2012, and I've had 7 channels. I only have 3 that are active, and I don't go around and tell people, watch this channel, check out this channel, because I don't want to intermingle the channels, so to speak.
Fair enough.
But I'd say I will say the most popular one I have is just a family channel that no one here would probably want to watch anyways. It's about Samoan stuff and eating and traveling and Samoan language. And that probably has my most subscribers right now for my active ones. And it's weird because I won't post on that one for like 4 months, and I'll get like 120 new subscribers because they come on just from watching old stuff. So it's weird. Once you get a certain base, people will come. So for you guys that are YouTubing and wanting to make it, just keep going, because eventually once you start going, it's like a snowball and it won't stop, especially when you hit over that 1,000 mark. It'll just start snowballing for you. But anyways,
if you haven't realized, Dope hit 1,000 not a week ago.
Awesome.
Nate had a video go for 103,000 views.
And sometimes that's what it takes, is that one video, and you just bring your sheep into the shepherd brings the sheep in. So I would say, as far as the contest, I did other contests, but it wasn't the same head to head. It was more like, who's the Polynesian poster of the week or whatever, trying to support smaller channels. And it was always about small channels. That's what I started off as. And so I said, let me do a contest for the comic book community. And even though I was brand new, basically, I thought it'll be fun to do, because I had just came on with Brian LCS's Comic Book Community Awards, had just ended. Like a week after I joined YouTube, they had the show. And then I was there for the taco joke and the upset and the back and forth between Razor and having to have meetings with Brian and all that stuff. So I caught that right at the beginning of me being on YouTube. I'm like, what have I got myself into? So I thought, I want to do something that's not for, that's not like based on the same thing. 'Cause I didn't want to step on any toes, right? And I thought, what category? I said, just like, who do you think is just the comic book, who's your favorite channel or whatever? Let's put it in a bracket. And so last year I did the 64 and Comic Vet from Canada won. Congratulations, Comic Vet. He was the winner. We announced the winner on Christmas Day.
I remember.
And we're going to do this.
That's the day you're planning again this year, which is also your birthday, if I remember correctly.
It is. Yeah. Me and Pocket Full of Comics are the two comic book guys that I know of that birthdays on Christmas. So I did it this year. I wanted to spread it out further. So I did it starting in January all the way until Brian started announcing his tournament. And then I stopped. So my tournament for the Comic Collector of the Year won't start until after November 1st, after the award show. There are 32 people in the bracket. Most of those people were selected by you who were watching, right? You had to nominate people. And then sometimes if only one person was nominated that month, they got into the tournament. Sometimes there might have been 5 people or 6 people, and I only had room for 2 people. Then I put them in brackets for you to vote. I don't pick them, you pick them. So out of those 32
I had to
people,
go through the brackets. I think there were 9 the month I got in. And,
so the 30, you're in the bracket. So out of those 32, who you face first is just random this year. So we did the drawing live, I believe, right? And you face who you got to face.
Against Nate, so right off the bat, we're
so you're up against Nate. So that's a good show. That's like a number 1 versus number 2 seed win the college basketball. So it'll be fun. And the winner this year, last year I just gave away like a $200 slab, and they could have picked a $200 Green Lantern slab or a Fantastic Four slab, and Comic Vet picked the Fantastic Four slab. And this year I think I'm just going to do a $500 gift card for my comic shop. Ring the bell if you have one. I don't. So
I'll have to change that.
Okay. So that $500 gift card is easy because all I'll need is the email address that you use, and you give it to me when I say you won. Joe Blow, you're the winner. Send me that, and I'm going to go on and buy it right then, bam, and send it to you. And it's your $500 to buy whatever you want with it. I will not exchange that for cash, though. It has to be the gift card. I'm not giving just cash.
Thanks to me. I think that just about everybody that's in that tournament will buy comic books with it. I mean, we are
that's what it's for.
Fanatics. So what else have you got coming up?
Well, we're doing I do the monthly free claim sales. I try to do that once a month. I'm busy right now with, we spoke before the show started. I'm the only one working at my work where there's normally 3 people that we do it, and I have no help. And so I'm kind of swamped, and that's why I'm not making regular standalone videos. I'm just doing a live show. But hopefully before the end of the month, I'll do a free claim sale so people can get some free books. I do the weekly Midnight with Monsters, which is really fun. A lot of fun people hop on. It starts at 9 p.m. on the West Coast, midnight on the East Coast. So get a nap beforehand. And sometimes it lasts up to 2 hours because there's some really cool books that are shown. Chonko's a regular. Up and Adam shows up all the time. Willie from Australia shows up. We've had Steppo, we had Steven, and we've had it's just so many people have just hopped on and hopped off that I can't keep track of it. Casino Comics, a lot of different people show up, show some cool books, and you can stay on. We can have up to 10 people. And then I'm thinking, I do want to start collecting slabs again. And so I'm trying to think to myself, the biggest thing I have coming up, I think I'm going to do another live stream. I've already bought the first book to the new live stream title name. I'm not going to give that away here today, but I won it at auction. So if you want to look up an auction, there were several auctions, more than one auction yesterday. And it was, I'll admit, it was a 5-figure book I paid for, but I still got it about $3,000 cheaper than the last price it sold for. Very nice. It's a character I've never collected. And so I just wanted to collect this book. And so I wanted to get, instead of trying to get the fillers first, I said, I'm just going to go for the biggest book first, and then I'll do the filling if I want to. So, yeah, I got a pretty big book coming up. I probably won't have time to do that, though, until next month, until actually September sometimes. But it'll be a fun show, and it'll be a continuing weekly show as well. But it'll also be in the evening, not at midnight, but it will be in the evening because I don't want to step on anyone else's show, basically.
Yes, I get that. I actually found last Sunday, Nate and I had spoken about it
Right.
last Sunday, and Cliff. I talked with Cliff and Steffo before the Superman show. There were a large number of live streams last Sunday, and and everybody has their favorites. And I mean, like, I will always tell people, watch live the ones you want to watch live. You know, the good thing about this is that we get to watch it on rerun afterwards, and that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute to say hi to the people that have come since we've
let's
started.
see.
And then I'm going to ask you about the Legion and Substitute here of Substitute Comic Collectors.
Okay, sure.
So since we were last doing that, we have JX. Hi. They may not be here still, but you know, hi Knives. Mark's Issues with Archie Comics. I just booked him coming up in September. John's Comics with Friends. Hi. Condition Not Considered. Hi. Chonko. I'm not sure if I got you on screen or not. Let's see here. Susie. Hi. Well, welcome to the show, Susan. Always good to see you. Hi, Callie. Rich. Good to see you. And Lyle's made it. Big Lyle. Good to see you. Mark's Issues with Archie Comics. Let's see here.
Like that.
Cliff's here. Hi, Cliff. And Bleeker. Hi, Bleeker. Diabetic Superman. The Kryptonite Kid. And the Immortal Biggie Shack. Good to see you, Biggie. He was the winner of your best collection, your little...
Yeah, that was just for who has the best collection. That was just a fun one to do for bragging rights. Yeah, he won that.
He was happy as heck to win that one. Comic Raven, it's good to see you. Okay, I think I've got everybody that's been in the chat at some point now.
So yeah, I did read a question on there that Robbie had for me, if you want me to answer it real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see here. I'll give you the answer. There's your answer, Robbie. That's my guy right there. Storm Fury, because I was a Marvel growing up. So
exactly. I think both characters have great, like their own thing.
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, I could read both of them all day. I mean, overall, DC is better war books, but Sergeant Fury was really good.
For sure.
So I will go with that. So the last thing I'm going to ask about tonight is what's up with the Legion of Substitute Comic Collectors? I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah, so the reason why we started that is because, these at that time.
Archivist.
Oh. Hi, Chop Liver. So the reason why I wanted to start the Legion of Substitute Comic Book Collectors, because there was a group of people that I felt I never saw on live streams. Now you see Stevie D on. Everyone has to have Stevie D because they just love that guy, right? And I love him as well too. And but at first I said, I haven't really seen Casino Comics. I haven't seen Renegade Rants. I hadn't seen Stevie D at the time. That he didn't even have 100 subs at that time. And besides this show tonight, to be honest with you, this is only my second live stream that someone asked me to come on in my whole year of being on.
Wow.
So I've been on one of your Superman shows, but I asked you if I could be on it.
Yes, and honestly, to everybody out there, when it comes to Superman shows, if you contact me, I will put you on. Yeah. It's a show that I encourage people to come on and show their Superman, Superboy, Supergirl stuff. So I mean, like every week, I don't really plan until the Friday before. That's when I pick a topic and I start sending messages out if I haven't heard from people like you did yourself. So,
yeah. So my first one, I think, was in December of last year, was a Garage Geek, and you're my second live stream that someone invited me on. So because there was some people that I just felt to myself, I always wonder, or I worry, I said, I wonder if they're okay, if they feel bad that people don't ask them to come on, right? I have so many other channels I'm trying to reply to everyone's comments and stuff that I'm not overly worried about that kind of thing. But I just thought, why don't I do something for these guys and we're not going to have a schedule like it's on every Friday at 2 o'clock or it's on whatever. I just want it random. So we're on when we're on. It's like when does the Legion need help, or the Legion of Substitute Heroes come to the help? When there's really a need for them, right? They're not there all the time. So I figured there's the same sense. So we could have a show coming up this month. We may not have a show coming up till December. We don't know. It's just when one of us gets together and emails each other and says, hey, I'd really like to, I don't know, talk about my little Lulu collection, my Jughead collection, where I'm like, okay, let's do a show. And we all can be on. We don't have to be on, but I like it when all four of us are on. And we're do it. So it's not a scheduled thing. And that's why I like it that way, because I don't feel pressure like I have to do this.
Yes,
like,
and I get that.
Yeah.
I've had Jason's been on my show.
Yeah.
So has Stevie. I've had Stevie twice. And actually the second time was here, we got him to 100 subs.
Yeah, I remember I was there.
And I have asked Mike, but Mike works Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
So it's not really in his schedule to come on the show. Mike actually was one of the first winners of one of my bigger giveaways back in the day. So that's how I sent it to him. I checked out his channel as a result, and I like it. So I've been I subscribed that night, the night he won. Yes, Lyle, we all know you've been on countless times.
Rub it in, Kyle.
Well, I really want to thank you for taking the time to join me tonight, Bjorn. You are always
no problem.
I love your content, your personality. You're just so nice out there. Your giveaways, your love of the community is the exact values that I want to push on my channel. It's the love of the books and the love of the people who love the books is what makes this the best hobby ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it just comes from being raised, like pretty poor, probably worse than what I made it sound like. And I just knew that if I ever had money, which I'm fortunate at my age to have a little money now, is I just love giving stuff for free. It makes me feel so much better than getting it myself. I don't go crazy and send people $5,000 books for free.
No,
but I have given away some few
$100. A very nice book. You gave me.
Oh, yeah, I did send you something. And then I think I sent you my Superman kit that I had too, or whatever.
Yes,
but
I've got
whatever.
Yeah, right here. Got that right here. Got with the red back.
Oh yeah. I forgot about the red back.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you're freezing there.
Funny story about
freezing.
When this was saying for the United States Army, they had like slogans, be all you can be, Army of One. I'm gonna be the first one to get it in my state in Washington. I got it. And the first weekend I parked by a school that I won't comment what kind of school it was, a college, and they keyed my car. They scratched my car all over, black, like brand new car. So I had to get it repainted. And I'm pretty sure it's because I had this on my license plate. So not everyone supports your soldier. Not everyone does that.
Well, here at Matt Likes Comics, soldiers of all nations are always welcome, and we are grateful for whatever country you serve, for your service, and whatever you've done in whether it's Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, Marines. We are a very happy. That's right. Lyle says Canada's slogan for the Army at one point was "There's no life like it." I remember that.
I like that, and they're right. There probably is no life like it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. If you knew how the Army is these days, it's completely. They're having some retention and recruitment issues. Anyway, thank you very much for coming, Bjorn. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
For those watching in the thing, Nate's show at the FOMO Squad is starting in 8 o'clock in about 10 minutes. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you very much for spending time with us. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate everything you do. And
Oh, no problem.
thank
Yeah, and I
you
thank you for
very
having me
much.
on, Matt. And thank you to everyone in the comments. I'm reading them. I'm not replying, but I'm reading them. Thank you, and also to all the vets out there that are saying, a lot of vets out there watching as well. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate all you guys, and I look forward to bringing some more fun contests and giving away some more free comics here soon.
And
Thanks,
hopefully
Matt.
we'll be able to check that out.
All
Anyway,
right.
my name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope
He
you
sure
do too.
does.
Thanks, everybody.